we have to go to IP in the news. And so tell us a little bit about what IP in the news is about today.
Well, if you went online and saw a site called Texas Guns N' Roses, would you associate it with the rock and roll band Guns N' Roses?
Is this a trick question?
Yes, this is a trick question because I already know the answer.
Is there
No,
like a right answer and a wrong answer to this? I don't know.
no, but Guns N' Roses is suing this online gun shop for trademark infringement. But what's so funny about this is that the online gun shop, they really just sell guns, but they have a couple of flower bouquets you can buy. But the funny part about it is that the florist shop is in New Jersey, so Jersey Village Florist. So
So that's like such a weird combination. I mean, who would ever think up selling flowers and guns? They seem like opposite ends of the spectrum to me.
so this was an article on Gizmodo, and it was written by Nikki Main. And what was hilarious was there were comments on this article. So I just want to read a couple of them because I think they're so funny. Somebody said it sounds like some kind of weird one-stop shop for mob hitmen from the 50s. You can now pick up a snub-nosed revolver to assassinate a mob boss in a back alley and purchase a single
Well,
rose to drop on top of the body.
You,
It's your
you
signature.
forgot to say though that the Guns N' Roses band is suing the Texas Guns N'
I
Roses
think you said
shop for
that.
trademark infringement. I'm not sure if you did.
Oh, well, so now you've said it. Thank you.
Yeah, and so anyway, it is some of the comments are pretty funny. The one that I liked is, well, why couldn't they have named it Texas Firearms and Flowers, right? Instead
Right.
of Guns N' Roses. But obviously the band thinks they're trying to capitalize on the Guns N' Roses name, and the store owner is like, it has nothing to do with you guys. This is a firearms and flower shop. It's not a rock band, right? So
Right. But I think Guns N' Roses has a claim here because I think it sounds like they started this site and they
right.
did it in Texas. So it'll be interesting. There were a lot of trademark discussions in the comments, but there was one final comment that I thought was pretty hilarious.
Mhm.
Says Guns N' Roses claims the shop's name falsely suggests a connection with them and creates a blurred line between the band's distinction and could tarnish the Guns N' Roses mark. And this guy says this has already been done multiple times over the years by Axl Rose.
I was gonna
So-
say, isn't their whole reputation based on being tarnished? I mean, give me a break. Nobody would buy their records otherwise.
So, anyways, you can't just do that. I don't think Texas Guns N' Roses is going to win in court, personally.
Yeah, well, stay out of Texas. They got different rules down there. Here we are with Dr. George James, and welcome to the show, Dr. James. Great to have you. What do you think about this whole Guns N' Roses stuff?
I love it. I think that there's a lot of ways in business we try to leverage um, off of something. And, you have to know that the Guns N' Roses has been out for so long. If you just add Texas to it, it's going to be connected to something. So I think in ahead of time. What were they trying to leverage? Was that the market? Was that the audience? Was that the people that they wanted? And if you want to say you had nothing to connect it to it, then like you said, there could have been a different way to do it. But it sounds interesting. If it gets some more traffic and more people, maybe that's what they wanted.
Yeah, I sometimes people. I don't think they defend lawsuits on purpose, but they file lawsuits on purpose for the publicity, right? So, this is maybe a reverse situation, a reverse strategy of some sort.
I just wonder if you did purchase a bouquet, if you would ever get it.
maybe Guns N' Roses needs more record sales. Who knows? Maybe they dipped a bit.
Or as one of the comments suggested, you could hide your rifle in a bouquet of roses and use that to put out your mob hit on the Jersey floral shop. Anyway, so Kenya, what are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, it's a clear swagger jack in terms of use of names. I mean, it's so familiar. And I feel like we've been all branded with Guns N' Roses. I want to understand, though, they're selling guns and roses out of this store, right? Is that what is my understanding?
Well, they're selling mostly guns and gun equipment, but they have 4 different floral arrangements you can choose from to buy.
Got it. So if I wanted to get a rifle and a bouquet, that's the place to go.
Right.
A
You
gift
could
for
do
you
your-
and a gift for your loved one.
Right.
It's Texas. Anything goes.
Yes, exactly.
So they
Uh,
definitely don't have a right to use it. I agree with Dr. George James, because I just feel like that it's like duh, right?
Well, now the attorney for the store, the Texas Guns N' Roses store, says there's never been an instance of actual confusion between customers of their store and the Guns N' Roses record label. Does that change your opinion at all?
Well, it makes me have a question for you. Like when it comes to like, I guess, terms of use or like what
Mhm.
they're using it for, like, is there a way for them to weasel around and kind of go that track? Like, so Guns N' Roses probably has a trademark for music purposes, right?
Right.
Is there a way to get it trademarked under a different class of use? Like, does that work?
See, I can tell that you've been on the show for a while, Kenya, because you're beginning to ask legal questions. And so, but I mean, this is a lawsuit, so there's always lots of weaseling that goes on. And it may be that Texas Guns N' Roses is violating some Guns N' Roses trademark registration. Guns N' Roses probably has uh, registration that covers merch, right?
Merch,
And
exactly.
so, I don't know if they have it that covers that exact same kind of merchandise, but so it depends on the scope of the trademark registration. So you nailed that one. So
I think what would be funny is that if you go to check out if they have like vintage CDs or albums of Guns N' Roses to upsell you.
Oh, that would be for sure. That would be the kiss
Yeah.
of death. I
The
think.
ultimate salt on the wound.
Jane, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I think that it was probably initially very clever, and when they probably, came up with it, you're definitely trying to bite off of the notoriety of the rock band, 100%. But I think when you're just getting started, you're like, oh, I'm so small, nobody's going to notice me. And then I don't know how long they've been in business or, whatever it is, or how large their business is. But as you get bigger, people will start to notice. And then clearly, like, good for you, but bad for you, Guns N' Roses noticed and they didn't like it very much. So
Well,
I don't know. Sorry, it's gonna depend on the classes that they're in, right? Like the class of trademark that they're in. I just went through this a couple years ago with my business, and it was, you had to pick like specific categories and have the foresight to see, are you going to be going into those categories and all of that? So I don't know. I don't feel like we know enough about it yet.
that
Yes,
was
that's
I
a
think
good
that's
answer.
that's a good way to get out of the discussion. Is that, well, we need more facts. We need
Yeah.
more facts. But no, those were very smart comments, and you brought up a lot of good points about trying to project when you're doing trademark stuff what's going to be happening in the future, and you want to cover all your bases as early as you can, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, Gogi, based on the facts that we have,
Yes,
Based
yes.
on what we know now.
Based on what we know, definitely, I think they were, trying to get a jump on the recognition of Guns N' Roses. I think, very honestly, if I can give them a plan to solve this, they could name it Guns and Gardenias, and they could have, Texas
Oh.
G&G. I mean, I'm always thinking the shorter the name and you can brand it, the better. But definitely, they're going to lose. Sorry, I've called it.
I'm sure Guns N' Roses has some pretty pricey attorneys too.
Oh,
and
yes.
you don't want to go up against them.
No.
sometimes musicians blow through all their money, and who knows? I don't know about this particular set of musicians. but
Maybe Texas Guns N' Roses could give Guns N' Roses free Guns N' Roses for the rest of their.
Well,
anyway,
the
we're getting in
the record company definitely has lawyers. So
yeah,
believe
that's
me.
true.
Are
I
they
think-
suing for a dollar amount, or are they suing just like a cease and desist type of thing?
I didn't say. We just read the
Right.
blog post, and I don't. They're usually they ask for both. So if you're going to sue somebody, you might as well ask them to change the name and ask them for money too at the same time.
Unless you
That's
want to
right.
license it. Well, that was asking for money. If you want to license it, then they can do all the hard work and just give you royalties.